What's up? Okay, well, go to bed then. Hello? Hello? What's up? You tell me. Hello? What's up? Okay, do you want me, let me put you on the air? Okay.
Hello?
Talk to me.
Well, it's very strange because I've always been straight and I've been with very many men. But,
Speak up, please.
you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay. But she is gay, and it's like I have all these dreams about her. It's so strange.
And they're erotic dreams.
Right.
And you can't see yourself ever doing anything like that.
I don't know. It's really strange because I don't think about that about any other girl.
Okay.
Ever.
Do you have any kind of feelings for her when you're not asleep?
Well, we're close as in friends. That's the strange thing. But see, I just feel strange because when I'm around her, I think about that I've had these dreams, but then, I don't really feel anything, I guess.
Well, that's interesting. Certainly your subconscious is telling you something, but I can tell you that I have in the past had erotic dreams about a friend of mine, and she's quite gay, and I never figured it out because I never felt like I had any sort of attraction to her, but I still had these dreams.
How long did you have these dreams?
I had about 3 or 4 of them over the span of a year or two.
Well, that's not that many.
Well, when you take into consideration I rarely ever have repetitive dreams. I have one repetitive nightmare, one repetitive, what's the word I'm looking for? Lucid dream. And then I had, so it's very rare that I ever have a repetitive dream, and she managed to show up several times.
Well, I've had reoccurring dreams all my life.
Okay.
I mean, I dream a lot every night. I have nightmares, everything, the whole bit.
The dreams themselves, are they relatively positive, or do you wake up in a panic?
They're positive, but when I wake up, I'm just kind of like, And then another strange thing is I'm still having dreams about, nightmares about my grandfather who's died years ago when I was really young.
Really?
Well, that's like a different story. I was molested, but...
And he's the one that did it?
Along with many others. Relatives.
Really? I'm not an analyst. This sounds to me like something, not necessarily the situation with the woman, but having
Well, it's not like
dreams.
taking my life away. It's not like I can't do anything because of this or something.
But still, that's the kind of thing I never want to know. If you've gone through that, I hate to think that you're going through your life without some sort of support professionally. That's certainly that's very.
I'm still having an active sex life. That's the thing. I mean, I'm with someone right now. We're not. Well, it's a very strange situation. We're not going out as in boyfriend girlfriend. We're just. I have feelings for him, but he doesn't feel the same way. So.
I see.
Which is very awkward because he's still. I mean, he basically is scum, and I know it because he's still sleeping with me, and he knows all this. But
Why are you with him then?
I have no idea.
Okay. At least you admit it. I ask that question a lot, and unfortunately, mostly it's women, and they're like, "Well, I think he'll grow up. I think he'll change."
No, I know he won't.
Good for you. Back to your girlfriend situation. I don't think it sounds, at least to me, it does not sound terribly abnormal. I give, as a general rule of thumb, if the opportunity ever presents itself and you're curious, I encourage people to experiment. You're young, you're attractive, it's not like it's wrong or anything. Try it. If you like it, great. Make it a part of your life. If you
But
don't,
she's an old friend of mine, so like if things turn strange, then that would just devastate me.
well, I'm just saying in general. If you're ever curious, and find out if you like it or not. And seriously, don't let anybody tell you it's wrong.
Yeah, one of my sisters, she told me about this experience she had with this woman. But she had a boyfriend at that time, and he was not too happy about it.
Oh, he was probably just scared that she was better than he was.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you like your haircut?
Not as much as I thought I would. It feels great, it really does. But I don't like the front. I wish it would at least stand up.
Yeah, it's different.
I take it you've watched the show before then.
Actually, just once before.
I see. Well, the good part is it's still growing. It'll come back out. At the very least, I should have shaved my temples on the back. So, oh well.
Just shave the whole thing off, then. Why don't you?
No. I have these really evil lumps on the back of my head.
Oh, really?
I was beaten with a Louisville Slugger when I was a child or something.
Okay, well, you have a good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good night. If she's out there, I ran into a woman tonight at 7-Eleven who basically just said she had talked to me before on Catharsis and didn't really get a chance to talk to her. She said she was going to be at work tonight. I'm going on the out chance that she's off work and she's at home watching us. I didn't ask you your name. I didn't ask you anything about what you called about because I felt that you had the right to preserve your anonymity. And if for some reason you thought that I was being rude or somewhat distant or cold, please, I apologize. That's not what I set out to do by any means. And I appreciate appreciate the fact you actually took the time to acknowledge that I was the person you talked to before. Anyhow, if you're out there, if I run into you at the 7-Eleven again, feel free to introduce yourself to me. I still will probably not introduce myself to you too much because again, that anonymity thing. But I didn't want you to think that I was being rude. Anyway, I've got to change the lighting and I'll be right back. Actually, I'm 30. How you doing, Paul?
Cool, man. Just chilling. Watching the show. It's neat, man. I like this.
It's a very unique hobby.
Lucy sat on the sex last few seconds, doesn't she?
No, she won't touch it. She won't. She doesn't mind me doing it, but she doesn't want to be associated with it.
Oh, really?
Hello? Hello? What's up?
Do about it. Hello?
Yeah, what kind of problem?
Well, I've been living with this girl, and I've just moved down from Dallas.
Now, hold on. You do realize this has to do with sex and not like a personal thing, right?
Right. It's a...
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Huh?
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I moved up here, to Austin, and I'm living with my girlfriend, and there's another friend of mine, or not friend of hers. He's a gay friend of ours that lives in our apartment together. We all share rent, and I've been dating her, my girlfriend, for about 2 months now, and I've never been around like a gay male before, and I've been starting to have these feelings towards him. I really don't know what to do, and he keeps whenever she's out, he flirts with me and kind of touches me certain ways and leans up against me when I'm sometimes leaning over a different way or something, and it just really turns me on, and I'm just kind of scared of these feelings. I don't know what I was just never had them before, and I don't know if I should act on them or what I should do.
What do you want to do?
I don't want to do that to my girlfriend, but I do have these strong feelings towards this guy.
Have you talked to your girlfriend about this?
No, I haven't. I haven't talked to anybody about this.
Well, perhaps... Okay, this is getting into an advice thing, and that's a catharsis topic. And
I know.
Huh?
Huh?
I said this is definitely a catharsis topic. This is for voyeurism. This is for exhibitionism. to address your situation, I would, first off, I would say maybe you should call back during catharsis. Second off, I would say perhaps you should consider communicating with this guy. If you're uncomfortable with it, even though you're attracted to it, you know it's the wrong thing, I would suggest that you be upfront with him. Tell him he cannot compromise, or you cannot compromise your situation with your girlfriend. And you won't allow him to tempt you into that compromise.
I see. Okay, well, I have a second.
Hello? It's going. What's up? Uh-huh. Okay, that's nice. Hello? What? Hello? Yeah. Okay, let's recap. I know it's been a couple of weeks, and most guys have the IQ of a mousetrap. Number one, I say hello. When you hear me say hello, you respond you can something to the effect of hello in return. At that point, you start to explain your little sexual misadventure that you would like to share with all of Austin. And thirdly, you don't make demands to me. You must speak coherently. You must speak promptly. At least 1/3 of your sentence. Let's go. At least 2/3 of your sentence cannot contain the phrase, Kim, I know you chastised me because I said guys are stupid, but you don't sit in this chair. You don't listen to him on this phone. I would like to. I don't want to seem like what's the word? I just want to make sure I'm an equal opportunity sexist here. 90% of the BBS women I've seen are fugly. 90% of the guys who call this show are dumb. Put me on the line, man. I'll go one step further, and 90% of the BBS guys are fugly as well. So, Kim, put your poison pen back. You know my account, 61799. I'm sure I'll hear you griping in just a few hours. Sorry. But it needs to be said. Hello. Hello. Hello to you too. What's up? Are you? No, it's not okay. No, it's not the old Biddy show. Christ, do I look like old Biddy? Hello? What's up? Okie doke. Oh, please. I just have to hear this again.
I said that you're the most gorgeous thing that ever walked this earth.
You don't get out of town much, do you?
Well, considering the fact I'm not from Texas, but...
Where are you from?
Out of Kentucky.
Huh?
Kentucky.
You escaped from Kentucky. That's great.
Well, anyway, I like your show, and I think you all have some really good subjects going. Oops, sorry about that. One thing I wanted to talk about was, how do you feel about fetishes? I mean,
about what?
Fetishes.
How do I feel about them?
Yeah.
Well, a fetish is actually defined as... How do I explain this? I believe the psychological explanation of a fetish is that something must have something present or something going on in order for them to achieve sexual arousal. It's a much stronger term than a preference. Mm-hmm. It's if a guy has a panty fetish, he has to be wearing a pair of panties or sucking on a pair of panties for him to even become aroused. I have no fetishes, I'm glad to say.
Good. You don't look like you would have any.
Well, thanks.
You look like you would be, very erotic.
I see.
Okay. But,
Are we erotic, babe?
Yes! No, I just wanted to say that I do watch you all the time, and I think you're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
I can barely hear you.
I said, I think you're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Okay?
Okay.
So, everybody have a good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Gorgeous. Hello. What's up? Okay. Go ahead.
Hi. When I first moved to Texas, which was about a year and a half ago, I ended up getting a job. I'm not going to say where. And I met this woman there, and for some reason, I didn't plan it to happen. I don't know if she did, but we just totally got interested in each other, and we ended up going out one evening, and we went back to my apartment, and totally unexpected, I was totally judged her character wrong. Which was for the best, though, because
She had a dick?
no,
Oh.
no, thank God.
Then you didn't fuck up too badly, mister.
No, as a matter of fact, no. But she was one of the most overpowering people that I had ever met.
Dominatrix?
Not to the point of whips and chains, but very forceful, very demanding, which was a complete turn on to me.
Really?
Yeah, and this was the first experience I'd ever had with that, so it was surprising to me too. But
How interesting. No, I'm just curious. Outside of the bedroom, did she have a very mousy type of personality?
yes, actually.
Okay.
Now that-
The reason I ask that is because I know a woman who has a very aggressive, she's an ex-lover, a very aggressive, boisterous personality, but in bed, she was totally placid, totally passive. And I've just come to find that the mousy ones are the real aggressive ones and vice versa.
Yeah, that's the way she was. She was a real petite and soft-spoken out in front of everybody. But once we got in private, she was just totally in control, and I was happy letting her be in control.
And have your relations since then been like that?
Actually, things got complicated differently, so we stopped seeing each other a few months ago.
I see.
But I've talked to her a couple times since then, and I tried connecting with her again, but she's involved with somebody else, so
Oh,
that
that's
didn't
too
work
bad.
out. But she just showed me and taught me different things that I'd never done before that were just incredible.
Can you give us examples?
Well, let me think. We went out one evening, went down to 6th Street, and this was like right after I moved down here, so she was showing me, what people do, 6th Street and all that stuff.
Drink and meat
Yeah, pretty much.
and fuck.
Pretty much. And when we came back home after the evening was over, she had too much to drink, basically. And she somehow convinced me to try to put on the dress that she was wearing. Didn't fit, but anyways, she tried to have me put on her bra, which fit, and she just totally, for some reason, that drove her crazy.
Huh.
And we ended up just trying different positions, and there was...
Was it a push-up or just a regular lacy kind of thing?
It was padded.
Padded.
Yeah. But it was just, we did it so many different ways, and they were all, I loved every one of them.
Well, that's great.
So,
That is great.
and that's pretty much all I wanted to share.
All right.
Like your show, like your new haircut.
I don't, but that's okay.
Oh, I liked your old hair better, but there's nothing wrong with what you had.
Okay.
And I liked the first call that you had tonight, too, with the girl.
Which one about the...
The porno movie.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Good way to start the show. So you have a good
Definitely.
night.
Take care.
All right.
Good night. Hello. Yeah.
And well, I barely moved here a while ago, and like where I come from, it's like the girls hit you up and like, you know, you get down or whatever like that. And like here, I don't know, it's like, you know, I want to get down with some of these girls here, right? But like it's weird because it's like they don't show it or something. And like, I don't know, it's like weird, like I don't know how to approach it or something.
Where are you
like that
from?
Here. From El Paso. And like over there, it's like, you know, the girls hit you up and stuff. They straight out show you, you know.
I can say that the people in El Paso tend to be, the kids at least, are a lot more aggressive
Yeah.
than in this part. Things are a little bit laid back here.
Yeah. So what do you mean more laid back? Like
Well, okay, I've noticed in El Paso, the
Yeah.
girls like to show off.
yeah.
And I mean show off.
Yeah, they're more stuck up over there.
I mean, you can read the cottage cheese on their ass from the jeans that they wear in El Paso.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, like they're
I once found a busload of blind people reading Braille on some chick's ass one day. It was, no, in all seriousness,
yeah.
as far as, I don't know, I think if you look around, you'll find somebody a woman who's like that. Trust me. I see them all the time running Town Lake or
I'm sure I can. It's just that it's weird because like over there, it's like they totally go up to you and stuff like that. And here, it's like I'm sure they do want to, you know, hit it up or whatever. It's just that it's like the situation is like, damn, how do I do it, man? I don't know. It's weird. It's like I know I can, but I don't know. It's like I'm used to them going up to me and stuff. So like here, it's like I don't know.
I think that maybe Austin's a pretty open town, pretty liberal town.
Yeah.
But I think there are certain things that still are more the standard than anything else. And I think, not just because it's Austin, I think this is true for the most part across this country, is that the male really has to be the aggressor.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. You know, I just gotta get used to that part of it because I'm used to being like, you know, the one that's being hit up on. So, but
Poor
I
thing.
guess I have to be the aggressor, man. That's cool. So here it's probably even you know, not as hard as I think it is. I guess.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man.
Get used to hearing the word no. Get even more used to hearing the words hell no. I did.
Oh, all right, man.
Take care.
Yeah, that's some good advice, man. All right, I
Take
just
care.
wanted to know, you know, because I'm used to like that other kind of mentality thing. So
Right.
I don't know. Well, take it easy, man.
Okay.
All right.
Good night. You ever been to El Paso? It's hot. No, it's fine. The city is just hotter than hell in the day, and at nighttime it is chilly. It is just downright cold.
Kind of like LA then.
It is. I don't remember
Is that
LA ever getting that cold.
Well, LA was like during the day it was hot, and then at night, because in the morning it's kind of cool.
Right.
The day it was warm, and then at night it was just, you need a jacket. It got chilly, really cold. Well, to me it did. 'Cause I was used to Tucson and stuff.
Yeah, in Tucson it probably gets
Dry.
chilly.
Yeah, it does get good.
It's probably the same as El Paso, Tucson. Except for Tucson's kind of up there, isn't it?
I think so. It is.
Hello. What's up? Well, I'll tell you what. You can talk to me, but I really don't know if I can tell you much about it.
I mean, I know there's a lot of women out there that probably enjoy the B&D and S&M, but where do you find them?
Well, ooh,
That's a good question.
I'm gonna be, oh goodness. I'm kind of afraid to touch this one because I don't want to mislead you or anything, but
Yeah. I understand.
I have seen ads. Okay, the Chronicle's a very obvious place. Under Variations, no less. I have seen on the computer places like Austin Chat Channel. Also, there's, you know what, I meant to buy some of these and bring them just to show people. Trust me, they're not my cup of tea. Like Texas Swinger Connection, or some of the local swinger magazines around here.
Yeah, but
I think you can find what you're looking for, but outside of the Chronicle and the swinger magazines and the bulletin boards, I don't really know what to tell you. There might be a leather club here in town. I don't know.
I know I've met women in the past that enjoyed that, but
Do you like being the master or the slave?
I'm switchable.
You're
Either
switchable.
way, yeah. I
Okay.
enjoy either way. And I know there's women out there. It's hard to find. Seems like some of the articles or papers I read that seems like they always want a fee. You know, sounds like prostitution. in a way, but they want to charge you a fee to come out or whatever.
Huh.
I just think there should be some women out there, but like I said, they're hard to find.
I don't know that they're hard to find. It's just you have to look in the right places.
Yeah, you said
Have you looked through the Chronicle?
You said something about Dreamers earlier. What's Dreamers?
Dreamers is the local porno store in town.
Oh, really?
There's one on 35 and there's one on North Lamar.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to hear from some women in Austin that enjoy being DNS&M if they call in.
Have you tried the Chronicle?
I haven't tried that, no.
Look in the back of the Chronicle. There'll be a new one out this Thursday. They're all over the place. I mean, all over the place. They're free. Pick one up. Look in the back under the personals, a section called Variations. You may find the mistress of your dreams in the pages.
All right.
Cool?
Thank you.
Take care. Hello. Quit laughing. Go to bed. Hello. What's up? Uh-huh.
At other places?
Are the girls different in Austin than they are in other places?
Yeah.
No.
Then why can't I find a date here?
Well, you're new in town, right?
Yeah, I've been here for about a month.
Okay. Don't you think that that's a little natural? You come, what, California, 4 or 5 states away. You don't know a single person in town, or you don't know very many people, and it's going to be hard. Do you go to school?
Yeah, I go to UT. I've met a lot of girls, and
dare I go out on a branch? I have seen 1 or 2 girls at UT. I think there are a few in school this semester.
well, I don't know. I'm having a tough time.
Oh, hey, once you get settled in, you'll do all right.
All right, Peckerwood.
Okay. Hello. Hello. What's up? Who? Which one? Do I know you? Oh, okay. Because I have a very dear friend of mine with your name, and I don't know if I would want her watching this or not. I see. Hold on. So, what is on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I was just thinking about that guy that was talking about he can't find any chicks. You know, poor guy.
Poor guy, my ass.
Yeah, really.
It was a prank call.
But I just, you know, I mean, there's plenty of chicks out there, and I'm one of them.
Ooh, how old are you, chick?
35.
35.
Yeah. And I'm not bad. You know, so I just thought that it was kind of funny that he was saying that he couldn't find chicks.
It was bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically bullshit.
Well, tell me, you're 35. You've got a few years under your belt. What's the most kinky thing you've ever done?
Menage a trois.
Really? 2 guys or another woman?
A woman and a man.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Cool. You can tell us more. I mean, I'm not going to hang up on you. Hello? You gotta quit smoking, dear.
No. I'm joking. Cough drop.
They're supposed to be sucked on, dear. Don't inhale the cough drop. It says that on the box.
I know. It says it on the...
Do not inhale. Ooh.
There. It's out.
Oh, excuse me. Boy. All right. So anyway. So okay, on this menage a trois thing, were you like, was it a sandwich kind of thing, or were you actually involved with both of them?
Yeah, I was involved with... Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
It was fun. Yeah, I mean, you know, we both Well, it was his birthday, and it was his birthday present to him.
Well, that's great.
And
Was he your boyfriend or was it your girlfriend's?
no, it was my girlfriend. Her name was Champagne. We
Okay.
danced together. And
Are you a dancer?
I used to be, I'm not anymore.
I see.
But, we got down with her old man, and it's pretty nice. We had a good time. We all, we had a good time, so. And she asked me again, and I said no the second time, so. Because I didn't feel right about it the second time. I thought, oh, God.
Why not?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Why I didn't feel
Was
right.
this recently or?
Oh, no. This was about 5 years ago.
I see.
So, but I thought I'd call up and tell you about it.
Well, great.
So, whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah. Hey, life's a bitch and then you marry one.
I couldn't hear you. What?
I said life's a bitch and then you marry one. Now I'm going through a divorce and shit, so I'm just being a bitch, so. Oh well.
What keeps you up this late?
What keeps me up this late?
Mm-hmm.
Watching people like you. But you're neat. I really like
Do you like my bad haircut?
Yeah.
My goofy.
Well, hey. I'd hump you.
Did
in
she?
a hair date.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said I'd hump you in a hair date.
You would dump me on a hair date.
I said I'd hump you on a hair date.
Oh, okay. I can live with that.
Oh, you can live with that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna hang up on me?
No. Do you want me to?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't want you to.
All right. Well. Now I'm going to.
Well, that's
Well.
a deep subject.
Please don't say that. My ex-girlfriend used to say that. It brings back lots of memories.
Oh, yeah. And remember, my name's Sherry.
Yes, I know the name very well.
Yeah. Sherry Lynn, actually.
Can't do that. Don't give me your last name.
That's not my last name. That's
Oh.
my middle name.
Okay. Well,
So,
okay. Well, Sherry Lynn, I do need to move to another call.
Okay.
But you made me moist, and that's good. I feel very
I made
moist.
you moist.
I'm moist.
Ooh.
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 Anyway,
Ooh, I moved.
have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Hello. Hello. What's up? Talk to me.
I couldn't sleep, and actually I've never watched the show before, but I thought I might as well call it. I'm in a human sex class, and today people were talking and saying, like, their relationships, and they don't know how to go past the basic, stuff, and so I just decided I might as well say something that I do that kind of got me started. I mean, nothing big, but one of the, I don't know, just something to say. But I'm not into bondage or anything like that. But one time, my ex-boyfriend, actually, we actually just met, and it was kind of, that kind of, I don't know, excited things a little bit. But being like tied up, not tied or anything, but just loose, everything where you can't get out of it. I mean, if you, whatever. And and I've heard of that before. I heard of alcohol before. I mean, like, drinking alcohol. And you know how, like, rubbing alcohol, you can, like rubbing on your back or something and blow on it, and, like, gives you goosebumps. You know what I'm talking about?
I've had a very difficult time breathing on my back, but that's okay.
well, somebody else flew on it or do it anywhere in your arm or whatever. But anyway, and he just poured, it was actually Goldschlager, and it just, kind of rubbed it all over, and then started just blowing. And I mean, it drives, for guys even too. I never did it to him, but because he couldn't stand it, makes you crazy. And especially, I mean, even like on your inner thighs and stuff like that, just, it makes you crazy. And I mean, you can't do anything because, you can't move, and it's just that feeling of, seduction.
Well, you said you're not into bondage or anything, and I'll tell you what you just described is a form of bondage.
It is a form of bondage,
And
but I mean, like,
it's what's called light bondage, and I'll tell you what, that's about as far as I'll ever go.
yeah, me too.
But it is fun. It's good for a change.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it opened my mind a lot because I never did stuff like that. And so with guys I'm with now, if they think I'm weird or not, usually they end up liking it. So it's fun. I like doing it.
That's a real good point. Just because they may think you're weird, chances are they'll like it anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's true.
And why not try? I mean, if you like it, and I like it, so if they don't like it, then more than likely I don't like being with them anyway. I mean, not just that, but that type of stuff,
I'll go one step further than that, and I'll say that, okay, you perceive yourself as being a sexually open person. You're willing to try things even if, you've been told all your life you shouldn't. And you get with somebody who's very frigid, very afraid of things. I think it says so much about their personality. Mm-hmm. Not just the way they are in bed, but the way they approach their life.
Open-minded.
Absolutely. But that open-mindedness extends way beyond the bedroom.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you can tell a person by the bedroom in a way, and the open-mindedness.
Yes, I agree.
Totally. It is. It's something to think about. If someone's out there that doesn't, it really, I mean, nothing's wrong with it. It just makes you feel good and makes you wake up with a smile on your face.
That's right. I was going to say something really trashy, but that's okay.
What?
Well, it had a reference to do with a glazed donut, but that's okay.
With the glazed donut?
Yeah, never mind.
Say it. I want to know.
No, it's too late. The moment's passed.
It's all done.
So, all right, well, thanks for your call.
Uh-huh.
Good night. Hello. I'm doing.
One time, I was like with my girlfriend and we're in bed, and she decides, she wants to give me a blowjob. But this time, she like runs to the medicine cabinet, and those Hall's Menoliptus things, like those little things. She just like shoves about 4 of them in her mouth, and I don't know what it did. It just like intensified it like 10 times.
Was her cough really that bad?
No, it wasn't her cough. I mean, it just like the menthol, the eucalyptus healing power. I don't know what it was. It intensified the feelings, made it like real.
What it probably was is that menthol or whatever stripped your dick of about 6 layers of skin.
No.
That stuff's pretty harsh.
No, it wasn't. It's just like lozenges. I mean, it's not like anything big. Anyway, I got another.
Hey! I don't want to know about your personal size.
No, I don't. Hey, you don't need to go there, buddy.
No, there is no need.
No, there isn't.
Anyway.
You fucking ass neck.
Ass Nick.
Ass Nick, what the hell is that? That's a new one. Please come over first.
Hello. 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 What's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here in the living room, and it's the first time I've ever seen this show, and I'm new to Austin. So
Okay.
how does this actually work? Do I just talk to you about anything, or?
Well, I do a show earlier than this called Catharsis. That's an advice show.
Mm-hmm.
When my partner leaves, I switch it over to Sex and Ice, and basically it's what it says right here. You can earn a degree in accounting, business management. Anyway, seriously, I just want you to have the opportunity to call up and talk about something sexually adventurous that's been a part of your life.
That's
Or maybe a fantasy.
fantasies like places or things, people, dogs, what? How does it work? You just basically get on the air and you tell people about how you feel about things. Or?
Not just about anything in general. I mean, this show is not for like political discussion or religious discussion. This is just strictly about sexuality. What's the kinkiest thing you've ever done?
Kinkiest thing I've ever done. Let's see. I guess it's basically being tied up and using ice or ice cream and and peppermint.
What do you like having done to you in bed?
God, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything feels good.
Have you ever had your hair pulled?
No.
You're missing out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try that next time.
Well, it's not. You can't do it to yourself. That's the catch. You can't do it have your partner do it too hard either, or else it's no fun. Well, let's see. How old were you when you first had sex?
17.
17. Okay. Those are the kind of things we talk about here.
Interesting.
Do you have a special toy?
No, I don't have any toys, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
but you would if you could.
Yeah, I think so. If I didn't have a boyfriend, I'd probably get a toy or something. But since I do, it kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm one of those frigid people in bed or something because it's kind of, this is just weird. I've never talked about having sex with a complete stranger, so.
Well, how old are you?
20.
20 what?
20.
20?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got a lot of years ahead of you. You've got a lot of experimenting you can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, thanks.
Sure. Hello. Okay, bring it on.
How can you condone such a... You're a fucker.
What's your point? Yes, I'm a fucker. I fuck. I have a dick. I stick at places. I fuck. Well, he's sitting there. How can you condone homosexuality? As far as my comments about homosexuality, really, in all seriousness, my basic premise is, do what is right for you. If you are happy being gay, be happy. Go forth, be normal, be content with your decision. Don't force it on me. Don't try to make me give you certain rights because of what you do in your bedroom. That's all I ask. That's really all there needs to be said. And I'm a fucker. Hello. Hello. Hi. Say that for me, please.
Okay, I fuck, therefore I am.
Good.
The other thing I was going to say before you cut me off is the last two lines, maybe you shouldn't probably be ashamed of those things.
I addressed that earlier. It's tongue in cheek.
Okay. I just tuned in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sheldon. I just tuned in and I was telling my buddy, I said, look at that. Maybe we shouldn't be ashamed of those things.
It's totally tongue in cheek, I promise.
Okay. And let me say it again. I fuck, therefore I am.
Now, it takes a guy to think of this, too.
Right? All right. I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
I wish all the calls would come through that clearly.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. What the what? You ask your question again.
I'm just saying, like, you got this deep voice, man, and it's just weird because I'm putting on my bass on my speakers and shit, and I can, like, hear you, like, talk so loud.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, coming to sex shit, I'm saying, like, we just came back all drunk now coming from 6th Street, and my birthday, and I was wondering, like, where can you get some females who can just fuck? That's it. I just want to fuck.
Well,
I can't find no girls who just want to fuck.
A prostitute comes to mind.
Huh?
A prostitute comes to mind.
Nah, it costs money though. I don't want to, spend no money on.
Well,
girls,
then go to 6th Street and find one of the little pieces of meat to hang out in the bar there.
Yeah, that's true. I know, seriously, man. We're gonna hang out and just meat market,
Meat.
used to be
Meat.
a meat market.
Meat.
All right.
Sleep it off.
All right.
God. Meat. Hello. Why? Fire.
Just because you have a television show and you come across with this very eloquent voice and as an educated person, somehow you think this gives credibility to you, but your television show is nothing more than what used to be considered a person that was just into voyeurism and perverted phone calls. You would have not too long ago have been arrested for being on the phone like this. Somehow you think it gives you a license to talk about all this perverted, weird stuff that's totally inappropriate to discuss in polite company.
Why is it inappropriate?
When you sit around and talk about these type of things...
Why is it inappropriate?
When you talk about these type of things, it totally destroys any idea of modesty. When you have this anything goes mentality, that you can talk about anything right there on public TV.
So you're saying freedom of speech shouldn't be all that free?
My point is that there's nothing that's out of bounds anymore. There's no sense of modesty or anything that there's some barriers to say, hey, wait a minute, this type of topic is inappropriate in discussion in a public vehicle like television where kids can watch. Or I am totally offended that I can turn on my TV and see this kind of trash. Now, someone might say, well, turn the channel. But the point is, the very fact that this is beaming in, it just shows that there's no sense of modesty or any barriers in society anymore where we say, there's still some things that are considered private and are not appropriate for public discussion. And what I'm saying is somehow by having a TV show, it gives credibility to someone like you that not too long ago would have been arrested for calling someone on the phone and talking to them about this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it off your chest?
Yeah, I don't...
But you're watching.
Somehow, no, I flipped around the dial, and I've seen you before, and usually I go right by, but I wanted to convey to you that, you're not going to admit this, and you're going to laugh it off when I hang up, but you've got some kind of hang-up that you get off on, that you could get some kind of pleasure out of talking about all this kind of list of... I'm sitting there looking at the screen on all these sexual behaviors. The fact that this is what you enjoy doing, you've got some sexual hang-ups, and I think you need to get some counseling. I don't mean it in a rude way.
I just think I need to fuck more.
Yeah, I really do think you need some counseling. You need some help. The fact, like I said, you come across very eloquent, educated, and have a TV show. You come across like some expert, but really what you are is a man that has some real perverted hang-ups, or you wouldn't get off and you wouldn't get enjoyment of spending hours at night talking about all these sexual behaviors where thousands of people can watch you.
Okay.
And you really ought to go get some counseling. I'm not saying it to be rude. It's not a prank phone call. I really have sympathy for you because I think you got some hang-ups you need to deal with.
My turn.
Okay.
What do you base all this on?
What do you mean, what do I base it on?
Well, it sounds to me like you're responding to some sort of doctrine that you carry around in your life. It sounds like you have some very deep convictions here.
I have some convictions that there are certain types of behavior and certain type of topics that ought to be considered inappropriate for public discussion.
Why should they be inappropriate? You've talked about boundaries. You've talked about...
Because when anything goes, that means there's no sense of modesty left in society. There's nothing called modesty anymore. The very term modesty means, for instance, when you talk about someone that dresses modestly, it's someone that covers up appropriate parts. We don't think it's appropriate in society for someone to just walk out nude because there's certain parts of your body that we consider that you ought to be modest about.
Well, it kind of ruins the whole thing. I still like to think of what's under the sweater.
So you're joking around, and I'm trying to be serious with you.
I'm doing a little of both, actually.
Yeah.
Hey,
the point is,
there's somebody down here who does a show. I don't know if it's been on for some time, and he's got very, very strong convictions, and he's very adamant about what he believes in. I happen to know on the side he cheats on his wife. With prostitutes. God knows what else he's carrying around in him. He's got a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of anger. One of the reasons why I do this is because I grew up with the doctrine of if it feels good, be ashamed. And the message I'm trying to convey here is that you don't have to be ashamed. You do things that are totally normal, are totally great, and you don't need to feel ashamed. You don't need to
Let me ask you a question. Where do you draw the lines anymore where we say, hey, wait a minute, there are certain things that are not appropriate to be discussing in a public discussion?
On this show, I don't allow people to be to use foul language. You know, some guy, if he wants to call up and talk about, use words like pussy or cunt or something, I cut him off. No, that's...
You use four-letter words all the time on your show.
Yes, but you'll never hear me refer to a woman as a vagina or some, was your cock like a piston here, buddy? What's the deal? I have fun. I use a little bit of humor. The language is not for children. I do not want to ever have this show during a time when children can stay up and watch
Kids could be watching this right now.
Then I would have their parents taken to human resources.
Yeah, come on. You know, in this day and age, there's a significant percentage of kids up late into the night.
Then that's their parents' fault.
I'm just saying, in society, where do you draw the line anymore? You see, it's kind of like the afternoon talk shows like Geraldo and everything. What we do is we bring out all these deviant subjects to where nothing shocks us anymore, and there's no line anymore over which we say, hey, when you go across that line, that's a little inappropriate. Anything goes, therefore it's kind of like a room with no walls in it. There's nothing to protect you from the storms that are blowing past you. I mean, when society has no more barriers over which we say, wait a minute, that is not appropriate to discuss in a polite company.
First, just real quickly, this word society, it's one of these words that I never use because it doesn't exist. Define society for me.
Society is when we talk about a society, we talk about a group of people that live together with some commonly shared elements of culture. For instance, I'm talking about the American culture, American society. In our society, what is left that's out of bounds? It's not considered polite topics of discussion. Nothing. With shows like yours, almost nothing is out of bounds. You say, well, you don't let them use certain terms.
I'm definitely the scourge of America. I'm probably going to bring the Armageddon.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I did.
I didn't say that. But my point is, I think the very fact that you can spend hours, a couple of times a week, talking about all these type of things, you've got some hang-ups that you need to deal with. Otherwise, you wouldn't get so much pleasure out of talking about people's private sexual behavior. I mean, sex is something that God created for people to enjoy.
What about the
in private, not for you to discuss everyone's private sexual behavior on the air with thousands of people. I think people that would discuss their own behavior with you have the same kind of hang-ups as you do. That's all I have to share. I'll let you get on to other callers.
Okay. You know, at least I'm not sitting up here and preaching about how you have to believe in my way of religion.
Thank you.
I'm not up here telling you have to believe in this candidate because he or she is going to vote this way to make our society better. Things are just as corrupt now as they were in the 50s. Things are just as corrupt now as they were in the 1770s. The only thing that's changed is the media, the population, technology has changed. As far as bringing things to light that, shouldn't be brought to light, I've observed history. Slaughter of millions upon millions because of the way they believe, because of geographical differences, because they believed in a God without a Christ, because they believed in no Christ, because they were black. I have a man sitting next to me whose grandfather was probably great-grandfather, if not great-great-grandfather, was somebody's property. And I've seen the things that religion has done. And I have my religion. I keep that to myself. And I really do take pride in the fact that I don't sit here and boast about my I'm not here to tell you, the Lord will smite thee if thou feelest a bit of a pleasure. And I enjoyed giving the opportunity of people to be, voyeurs, to be exhibitionists. And I try to do so with the minimal of, what's the word I'm looking for? Judgment, prejudgment. And I'm very proud of the fact that I really distance myself from the insanity that some people have done in the name of religion, of superiority. If this is an evil thing, if this is a wrong thing, and I have to answer to God for it, it's not going to be nearly as bad as somebody who stands behind a pulpit or somebody who sits on TV and tries to cram their religion down somebody else's throat. Hello. Hi, what's up? You deviant woman, you.
What's up?
Deviant. Freak.
Yeah, I know.
We're ashamed of
The
ourselves now.
little man in the boat.
Little man in the boat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the little man in the boat.
Yeah.
How do you like your little man attended to?
Oh.
For the guy who called before, the reason
You know,
Yes, I'm a
that
deviant.
That was bullshit, so I don't want to hear it. You know?
Tell your story so he can climax now.
Okay, good. I'm going to. The little man on the boat. It's right in there.
Okay, are we done?
No.
Well, work with me here, babe.
What?
Tell me something.
Okay, it's like in between your clitoris. And then you just rub up and down against it.
Okay. Okay, thanks. That's nice. Gosh, my mind is just coming. I'm just thinking of all these things that have been done in the name of religion, and I pick on religion a lot because those are where the biggest atrocities have ever been done. Just genocide after genocide. And Guy, I don't know if your gripe was religiously based or not, but let's just say I've heard very similar arguments from those who call themselves religious, who would just as soon go out and kill somebody that didn't believe that they did the way they believed, and certainly wouldn't have any different, any qualms about trying to force their opinion on people who didn't believe the same way they did. So I really, I'm just shocked that, I don't know, this is we're just having fun, Guy. We really are. But for some reason you take it as more than what it is, and perhaps that indicates some inadequacies on your part. Hello? What's up? Yeah.
He just hadn't been laid enough. That's his problem.
Maybe his boyfriend's holding out.
I guess, man.
I guess.
All right, good night.
Good night. Hello. None of your business. Hello. Hey.
I like women with like big legs. Seriously.
Big legs like cottage cheese filled,
No.
bulbous, round.
No, actually, I guess muscular legs, like in a calf.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know. I just see a woman like, whoa, I just want to like nibble on them and suck on them and everything. I mean, it's awesome. I don't know what it is. I mean,
That's great. What's your other fetish?
nice big old hip woman.
Okay.
I don't know. Just whatever.
Okay.
Huh?
That's great.
There.
Well, do you have any interest in being a target for a while?
You want to take a couple calls?
Sure.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I should have thought of this earlier. You can be the unseen.
I'm gonna you Ed McMahon.
You can be the Ed McMahon. I'm sorry, I should have thought of that earlier. Just pin it, like, yeah, right there.
Right here. So they can hear me now. I'm officially on the air.
That's right. By the way, for people who can't see the face, and chances are you can't, this is Paul on the side. Do you want to go by your name?
Hello, Austin.
Hello. What's on your mind? Deviant, freak, guilt. You should be guilt-ridden and you're going to burn in hell. What's on your mind?
Had these weird fantasies about you.
Really?
Yeah, it's the strangest thing.
That is. I never have fantasies about me. Gosh. Well, tell me about them. Because I'm a deviant freak who must really thrive on this kind of thing, and I need counseling.
No, I just wanted to tell you that. I won't get into it.
Oh, tease? Harlot?
Sorry.
Tramp?
Thank you.
Oh, I need some sexual healing. Hey.
Thank you.
Hello. Shaving, as in pubic shaving, that kind of dirty, foul, kinky thing. All right? Okay. He doesn't believe in shaving. That's nice. Hello.
He wants all his
Hello.
hair.
Hello. You're calling about the man who called earlier.
About, yeah.
Huh?
The guy who called and was saying that your show isn't right, perhaps. He didn't say one thing about God or religion, and
No, he didn't.
no, he didn't. But so maybe that's something that you're feeling. And everybody has a right, just like you said, you have a right to freedom of speech. So does he, and you're knocking the poor guy. He's just.
I'm sorry. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Speak up, please.
Okay, what I'm saying is, you were talking about freedom of speech. You have the right to say what you want to, but so does he, and you're slamming the guy, and he's not even, there. He was kind, he was nice, he was just sharing with you what he felt, and you have no respect for any other people by your attitude that you're projecting. You have not quit talking about it since he hung up.
He provided him an opportunity to speak. He didn't interrupt him. He let him get his point out, and then he replied to that. He provided a platform for him to express his opinion.
Right. And
I let him speak. Absolutely.
Well, but then you said, well, just give him a platform and let people see who he is for what he is. And then you took it back. You go, God, I would never say anything like that. So you're just, what I'm saying is, you're just have been so sarcastic and everything about him. Give him a break. You were saying he's inadequate. He has feelings of inadequacy. Maybe you do too, because you seem awfully convicted from what he's saying. What the gentleman said, you are reacting with total conviction. And he didn't say anything about God. He didn't say anything about religion.
Oh, no, he didn't, and you're right. And the reason I brought that up is because, given the perspective of between the most heinous crimes that are done for the most, quote, noble of reasons, and doing what we're doing here, I really think that this should be really taken into perspective. As for anything else, I will totally disagree with his comments about abuse of free speech, or, that this is inappropriate. I think for the people that I want to watch this show, this is entirely appropriate. This show has had beneficial, what's the word I'm looking for? Effects for some people, not a whole lot of people. A lot of people watch it for entertainment, but I've had people call up and say, I enjoyed watching it because it actually helped me in something that I'm going through.
Yeah, but I guess my point being is you're just giving the guy a hard time, and he was just using his right to speak just as you are.
Yes.
It's just kind of, I don't know, I'm not being rude to you either, but kind of childish or immature. Just give the guy a break, man. I think it's kind of sad that people can call up and talk about, oh, I like to do this and that, but then a guy calls up and doesn't say one thing about that, just sharing his feelings. You give him a hard time. Man, some of these other people who have these fetishes and stuff, man, they're the freaks.
Hey, look, I get some freaks calling this show. I give them a hard time too.
Well, get off the guy's back, man. He's just giving you,
Well,
what he
okay, but he knows. I mean, how could you not know? This is access. This is for free speech. How can you call up somebody and tell them that they are not entitled to do this because it is abusing that freedom? It is not.
He did not even use those words.
But that's what he did.
He said, all he said was what his question was, is where is the line drawn?
And he was criticizing for the content of my show.
He was saying that he felt it was inappropriate.
And I'm telling him I feel that he should change the channel.
Well, and that is your right too. So my point is no matter what you're saying and no matter what he's saying, you both have a right to say it. So I think that you should get off his back, slamming him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm not calling him up at 3 a.m. to tell him I don't like what he's doing.
I know, but you're doing it after he called. You've been talking about it for 10 minutes.
But this show's part entertainment. You got to remember that.
That's not entertainment. Get real.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll just take a casual poll from here on out and just kind of get some feedback, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Hello. Was the guy in line or out of line?
Show so you could, I think you were within your bounds big time. The thing I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind, was I would take issue with one thing you say is that the greatest crimes in the history of humanity as far as genocides and this have been committed in the name of religion. I don't think that Hitler, he may have persecuted a religious group, but he didn't do it in the name of religion. Stalin certainly did in the purges, and Mao didn't do it in China. Those were political crimes, and they were, I think, way beyond anything that we've ever seen in the name of religion. That's the only thing. And I'm not a religious freak or anything.
gosh, we don't even know how many people Stalin killed, and that was in the name of his political
I believe communism's a religion. I really do.
Well, okay, I think that's kind of a nifty twist on the deal. It certainly wasn't designed. It was a stateless. The state was without religion. They shut down the Russian Orthodox churches and a lot of churches. And all I'm saying is I think that's a fairly loose interpretation of religion.
Not religion in the traditional sense, but religion in the fact that in order to be a true communist, you had to be devout to it.
Well,
you had to have this absolute blind faith in it.
Oh gosh, you could say that about Amway. I mean, gee, many Christmas, you know.
Well, in a way, you're actually kind of right. I think of other things where more people have been killed than the Holocaust, where how many millions upon millions, tens of millions of Indians were killed, if not by disease, then by flat-out murder.
Members of other religions, yeah.
The Muslims who were invaded by the Christians, century after century after century. You can go into the Pacific and start looking at the natives in the Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, I just think that some of the things that, and if you want to call communism a religion, that's fine. I think it was specifically anti-religious. They substituted one deity, which was the state, for another, which was some kind of theocracy. But I just think that the total numbers of people that were done in by the Stalins and the Hitlers in the name of their own political power. And I'm not saying that popes didn't do it, and ayatollahs didn't do it, and presidents of the United States have done it in the name of their own political power. But there are some people who seek comfort and try to find some reasonable comfort in religion and some kind of system of values, and I don't think that's inherently wrong.
Oh, absolutely not.
And so those people, they feel terrible when they hear that, and they haven't had anything to do with it. It's just kind of, but that's a heavy subject and whatever. I think what you're doing is fine. And talking about whatever you want is fine. And if some guy calls in and opens himself up to an open discussion, he wasn't listening to you. He was just carrying on and on and on and on and on, which I don't want to do. So I'll say good night.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Good night. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Let me, before I leave you, and I say this over and over, I draw a very, very distinct separation between religion and faith. And in a nutshell, I will say that I believe religion is the cancer of faith.
That's a whole term's worth of discussions, but I think I get your drift.
Just think about it for a while, and maybe you'll understand my approach a little differently.
Mighty fine. See ya.
Take care. Damn, this cold is starting to get to me.
Oh man, I'm shivering over here.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
Just returned from New York.
Did you hear the caller, just real quick? Did you hear the guy who lambasted me? Hello? Hey, you there? Okay, we'll speak.
Yeah, I've just returned from New York, and I wanted to say to Austin that I think that you are the Howard Stern answer to Austin, Texas. You're great. You do a good job.
I am not like Howard Stern, please.
No, Howard.
Well, it's got the same implications. You have a very unique audience, and you've got a very unique show.
Well, if that's all the similarities you're going to draw, I will say thank you.
Well, I'll go on beyond that.
Please don't. I don't particularly care for Howard Stern.
Why not?
Well, there's just kind of this rough quality about him, and his sense of humor is not very sophisticated. I'll tell you one thing that I was really put off by. He had a penthouse pet on there.
Yeah.
And she was going on, and he was kind of advocating it, and what's the word I'm looking for? Instigating it. She was going on about, oh, those Orientals, it's like they can't see where they're driving because their eyes are only half open all the time. And he's like, yeah, like they're blind, they're stupid.
Into it. I didn't see that. He fed into it.
Yeah. And I just don't see that there's any place for that in America. And hey, but getting back to that guy's argument, I'll take a different approach. He has the right to say it. I have the right to think he's a jackass.
Okay. I dig that. Nonetheless, you are a unique character in the Austin market.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm much different in person, by the way.
Well, I'm not unhappy to hear you say that.
I'd never get a girlfriend if I were the same person.
You have a name. You have a Chiron named Shelley under your
That's
face.
right. I'm wearing his underwear at this moment.
Who is Shelley?
Shelley's. Yep, definitely his underwear.
Shelley is a he.
Shelley is a man's name and has been for centuries.
I see.
It's anglicized from the Norman name Michel, which is the French name of Michael.
Okay. Lastly, I'll comment that the previous caller who was going on about religion, I'll change the channel. To that person, I say change the channel and let you speak.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for the call.
You want to throw some stuff in?
No, the Howard Stern thing, gosh. He talked about his wife's miscarriage on the air. He blatantly talked about it. I think he made jokes about it or something. And she was, I guess he said he went home and it was kind of a tough night, I guess. But when you do that kind of stuff, man, I mean, that's like, I know he's abrasive, but that's just going a step too far when you do something like that. I mean, that's your wife and you don't want to bring it out in the public. But I mean, if that's his character and she stays with him, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, I do have to agree with you. Sometimes he is a little abrasive, but yeah, but that guy, you got a guy a platform. Don't feel bad. Don't even.
I wasn't.
I didn't mean to say don't feel bad. But.
Hello. Yeah.
There's not a man in more dire need of a blowjob than that man.
Oh, God.
Genius.
Boy, I fucked that up. Are you there?
Yeah.
I hosed. I accidentally put the wrong person on. Anyway, as you were saying.
Mainly it's more like, I guess, education and what we learn from other people and from, just being older. Like, for instance, I was doing studies of the history. You see that, like, Caesar, they called him the men of all men and the woman of all of men, meaning that Caesar was homosexual. It shows you how, like, in the past, people and situations, especially with females, the way they were treated, they were, chastity belts, that type of thing, sewing up of the vagina, so that when they're married, then the husband will be able to.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes. That still occurs in some places.
Huh?
That still occurs. There's also in some places what are called clitorectomies.
Right. Mainly, I guess, it's like from when I was a sophomore in high school, I was going to save myself, until I got married. Okay, haha. Well, a drunken night, that kind of ended that, and a lot of peer pressure from friends, but I'm glad I did it. The point is that if I save myself till I got married, how's my wife going to know how I am in bed, right?
Right.
Okay, well, it's also got me a little more open to try different things, and I think a relationship has a lot to do with sex, and things like your show, the guy was, contradicting your show, fine, that's his opinion, fine, but for me, I'm sitting up studying at, 3:30 in the morning, which is crazy, but I flip you on all the time, mainly just to see what other people's views are, especially in Austin. And Austin is a big place where people, they all have their own opinions about things, but it's fun to see exactly what, people are thinking, people are doing out there, because they're doing a lot.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
More than I am. Amazing. Well,
more than I do. That's for sure.
And if they're really doing it, great, gives me some ideas. But mainly there's kind of like, I don't know if you noticed, but like if you look back in the past decades, as decades pass, there's real conservative people, and then there's real open people. Say like I guess it was the 80s were real open, 70s were real conservative, 60s of course, sex, love.
Anything that moved.
Exactly. And you can keep going back to that, to 20s. And
it's
then
all been the
after
same.
the 20s, we had the Depression, so it was very conservative. 90s is supposed to be conservative, which it is because of AIDS. Year 2000, I guess we'll see what happens there. But mainly, people's views, just like the gentleman who called, which I respect his views totally, and I respect him for calling and stating his views. We all have a right to state our views, and if kids are up at 3:30 in the morning, please do go to bed because school is tomorrow.
as far as that subject goes, I am not a babysitter, and if some parent is not capable of putting their child to bed and keeping them in bed, then that person probably is not fit to be a parent.
Agree with that. Definitely agree with that. They have access to the TV.
And you have access to channel block.
Huh?
And you have access to channel block.
Exactly.
Correct.
I'll tell you what, I have 9 minutes left. I'd like to go ahead and move on.
Well, you also go by Cichlid, am I correct?
I do.
Well, Cichlid, I've seen you around on a couple of the boards.
All right.
And you have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.
For those of you who want to write me, I'm cichlid@bga.com. Lowercase Cichlid, CICHLID, @BGA.com. That's COM, not KOM, COM. Hello. What's up?
Say something about pros on what you said to that guy real fast. I mean, you had absolutely, the thing he said about the platform, that's perfectly it. He let him say what he wants to say. He has absolutely no, his mind will never go as deep to know what this stuff's about. He'll never,
Actually, I think it will, but I don't think he'll ever admit it without feeling like he's going to go to hell.
I disagree. I think people with one-track minds are people with one-track mind, that's all, Maybe in another lifetime there'll be a deeper person, but for right now, he'll never understand. He lives his life like he wants to live his life. And to the girl that said something about religion, he was the one who brought up culture. And I mean, religion's based on culture. Culture's based on religion. So you had every right to bring up religion about that.
Well, I can see her point of view because he didn't mention religion at any point, but I just felt that his convictions were probably based on that. And I have my personal reasons for also bringing that up.
And I think she said get off his back, but obviously he wanted you on his back. He called, that's all there is to it. He said he was flipping through the channels. Well, keep on flipping. That's all, that's what, I don't know. I just think it's silly for people to actually, I don't know.
So, tell me, do you have a question for Paul?
For Paul.
The voice.
The voice. No, I don't know any questions. It's late. I'm studying.
That's not a question. I'm studying is not a question.
Do you have any experiences you'd like to share with us?
Nah. I called earlier, so I just decided to call again.
Okay.
All right.
Well, sweet dreams.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello. What's up? Hello? 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 I'm doing.
Ex-girlfriend. And she had this thing that when she would come to a climax, she would say, "Come with me, come with me." And I was at my mother's house with her one night, and we were in the back bedroom making love about 3 o'clock in the morning. And she starts screaming, "Come with me, come."
I don't believe you. Hello? What's up? Make it short and sweet.
Well, I think, Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam. There is not a man in existence who's in more dire need of a blowjob than that guy who called up.
Thank you.
And I grew up, religious and all of that, and sadly, I believed in hellfire and brimstone, and as a child, I was deeply, actually very much screwed me up, religion. And I understand totally what you're saying about all the evils that were committed in the name of religion. I studied history and all that too. And it's really sad that these people are out here and they call you up and they say that, that this is bad what you're doing, because I love this show. I mean, I've called before and told you I love this show. I think it's great what you're doing because people, this stuff goes on. This is part of life. And, it provides an opportunity to talk about it and share something when society is sort of, these are all taboo,
Yes.
Provides a real outlet for it. And that guy, God's going to tell him, whenever he gets to heaven, lighten up, man.
Lighten up.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, here you spent all this time having a shitty time, thinking that the Bible said for you to suppress all these things, and that's not what I meant,
And, that's really how I feel. And I'm a very spiritual person. And it's too bad that there's people like this in Austin or wherever.
Hey, but it is America. And you're not going to get away from those kind of people anywhere.
Well,
Closed-mindedness. Some people really thrive in the security that being a closed-minded individual creates. And whenever you're a closed-minded individual, it makes you feel like you're standing up a little bit higher than the rest.
Well, I guess I'm guilty in some ways too. I mean, nobody's perfect, but it really, this show is great, and I can't see anybody, say anything against it, as far as the kids thing go. They shouldn't be up, they shouldn't be seeing it, and whatever, man, I give you my support.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
One of the side reasons why I do this is because I'm preference neutral, and that is if you like to have sex by yourself or with a man or a woman or both or whatever, I do my best to not care. And in doing that, I allow people to share in the experience that, sex is sex. The partners may be different, but the reasons you have sex, the things you get out of having sex, are still the same. So I kind of like to make our differences actually show that there's some similarities and the things that all of us do. Hi.
Hello?
What's up?
Hey, I was wondering if maybe you could give me on some advice on suggesting a threesome to my girlfriend.
Well, tell her this really strapping, beefy, hung dude.
No, 2 girls and me.
Well, I'll tell you what, in all seriousness, if, talk to her about it and be fair and tell her that, baby, if you'd be interested in doing this, I'll be man enough and I'll be secure enough in my sexuality that if you want to have a threesome with 2 guys, I'll be there.
Okay.
Are you man enough?
Probably.
Okay.
Hey, when does your show come on? This is the first time I've ever seen it.
I do Catharsis at midnight, and Catharsis lasts until about 1:30 or so, and then I do Sex and Ice.
Is this like every night?
Tuesday nights.
Every Tuesday night?
Right.
Okay, cool, man.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah, he's gonna go to her. Honey, I'll swing with another guy. Yeah, right.
You see 2 girls and 1 guy?
He said he wants to, but I suggested that he be man enough and open enough to go both ways. Hello? What's up? Hello?
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment on what that guy said earlier when he called.
Okay, you're going to be our last caller. You've got 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Oh, wow. I'm here. Well, I think I just didn't understand this modesty crap. I mean, I haven't been modest all my life. I mean, I think that we should be open, and I don't think that we should have boundaries and barriers, because if we have all that, then where's the freedom? Do you understand what I mean? And also, I got a proposal, but it's about sex and stuff, and I thought that.
Could you speak up, please?
Me?
Barely.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also had a proposal about this weekend that I wanted to talk about. It's about sex, but I thought, unless you're doing the show on something different now. Can you hear me?
Barely. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
You have 30 seconds.
do you know what a nightcap is?
A what?
A nightcap.
No.
Well, it's where you meet somebody for the first time, but you meet them in a dark room, and you have sex with them, and then you don't see them.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Well, if you use protection, and I had that proposal, and I've been talking to the guy for a while. He lives
Hold
out
on.
of town.
Can you call back next week?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thanks. Everybody, good night. Even for
Bye, Austin.
Sweet dreams.